Coach, ready to go?
Sure. Very good win for us. Just appreciate the team. Once again, approaching the week the right way. We had talked about it all the time, to continue to play with great effort, continue to try to improve in the execution. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We just got to continue to worry about ourselves, continue to get better. I love this team's attitude and effort, and really greatly appreciate the seniors playing for the last time in Kroger Field. Some of those guys have been around a long, long time. Some of them are new, but all of them have had a great impact on our program, and they've shown great leadership, and I greatly appreciate them. Them and their families being here today to celebrate a good victory. And now it's on to the next, and we've been handling it very much with the mindset of 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. And, again, appreciate the effort and them preparing and taking care of business. And now it's on to the next opponent, and we'll get back to work.
Mark, what runs through a head coach's mind when the starting quarterback lowers his pads and just decides to run over a guy?
Yeah, I was just, I was a little bit dumbfounded, and I said, did he score? And he scored. So, you know what? That's fun. It's fun. You do not want to see that. We were just talking about that. We got to teach him how to protect himself a little bit. But some of that is going to, kind of fire up your team. And, for him to lower his shoulder and get in the end zone, just shows another element to his game and what he's willing to do for his team.
Doesn't that inspire the players even more, because he's doing what they're asked to do every play?
Yeah, without a doubt. No question. It would have been pretty easy to tiptoe out of bounds right there, but he decided to get it in, so good for him.
Coach, you guys decided to go tempo there for a little bit and try. You did a little of that last game.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting into a different pace, and then Cutter makes the throw to Hardley. Just some different things out there tonight.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind to get that on, try that?
Well, I think we talked about it in here last week. We had success with the tempo last week. We had done it throughout the year, maybe even if it's just for a certain amount of plays, maybe not entire drive, or try to steal a few reps and get it going. I think for sure with us, we do a lot with personnel and subbing. When we were subbing, they were subbing. It was, they were, I think that everybody was, we were trying to shorten the game. They were trying to shorten the game, and I'm not meaning that in any condescending way. It's just like, the game was going fast, and we wanted to get some plays in and operate. So with us not subbing and going with some form of tempo, it let us get into a little bit of a rhythm and speed it up a little bit, try to get some scores and, get some plays in. We still only had 66 plays, and I really wanted to try this. The defense played really well. The drive at the end of the half kind of was aggravating because I'd like to pull away a little bit and get, even the younger quarterbacks. It was nice to see Brennan. I really bummed out. Stone was set to go in, and it's our fault for not splitting that series, but we thought we could get a stop and get them back in there. So, for us, getting some young guys some plays was important, and it's invaluable to get those reps, and we'll continue to work on them.
Mark, going back to that pass I was talking about with Gilmore, when you see Cutter make a throw like that as a freshman, you talked about last week having a guy that young knowing he's your guy.
Yeah.
What does that get you guys excited no matter who the opponent is when they're threading the needles on making those kind of throws?
Without question. It was very predictable pass, right? Second and extra long, and into a pretty strong breeze with defenders all over the place, and he threads it and hardly made a really nice catch and a great finish, but really impressive throw, and the confidence that he has. And, we've seen a lot of those. Maybe they've been on the sidelines or over, one defender under another, and we've seen some exceptional throws, but over the middle like that, again, with predictable pass, with them sinking back and playing coverage, impressive throw.
How big was it for those defensive guys who are going to have to play a lot down the stretch because of their injuries?
Yeah, without a doubt. They've, played quite a few guys. Defensively, it's a bit harder offensively, without complete separation, because the way this team can score, you just don't ever, until we got that last one, makes it a little more difficult for mass substitutions on the offensive side.
DJ wasn't dressed again, and Nasir was out. How serious?
DJ was, again, it's frustrating, it's aggravating, disappointing for him. He was set to play, he practiced all week this week, and just didn't feel well enough to play.
Is Nasir, is that serious?
Nasir is, we're going to see where we're at with Nasir. If we could protect his red shirt, we will, but he was hurt. He was hurt this week.
Martin Hopkins was Kendrick Law Day, did everything he do other than score.
Amazing, really impressive. I just grabbed his stats as I was talking with Mitch in my office before I came right in here, but I didn't even really realize that Cutter was 18 for 21, and Kendrick, I'm not sure there was an incompletion his way. I don't know. You guys may know.
No, he's at 11 for 11 targets.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Thanks. But the one on the sideline was really impressive where Cutter, we were trying to take a shot. He came back to Kendrick in the flat right on our sidelines. Kendrick made an impressive catch, and then the run he had was unbelievably physical. I think some of you were down in that left side, but it was violent. He's a strong dude.
Going with that, how are you, with the wide receiver room down the stretch here late in the season, what do you think about how they're playing?
I'm impressed with the way they're playing. They've been settling in past 2, 3, 4 weeks, and just really impressed. I think more and more guys are stepping up. We could count on a pretty good nucleus of these guys right now, and they've been pretty consistent, and they've been unselfish. They've been blocking on the perimeter. They're doing a lot of good things.
I remember back when I first started covering the team, it was Will's first year. We came in after you guys had got the 6th win. It was very early in the year. And somebody asked you, what does it mean to be bowl eligible? And you said, we're at a point in this program where that's nice, but we have bigger goals.
Yeah.
And you've acknowledged that last year was a step back. What does it mean, because now you said taking the game back in, to have the chance to get back to that?
I said it, I'm sure at the time I did say that, but I also always acknowledged the importance of it, because you can't ever take that for granted. Look at our league, it's brutal. And during that stretch, I want to say, you take COVID out of there, and we went 10-8-10. It's like we were averaging 3 games per year. We were on a good roll, and we're trying to get back to that point, but we don't. You never take things for granted. It's difficult, and but we're worried about right now, this week, and going 1-0 again. I know that's coach speak, but it's the truth. So it's important.
Well, it's become common for SEC teams to step out of conference late in the regular season. Do you like that? Is there an advantage at all?
Pardon me?
It's become common for SEC teams to step out of conference late down the stretch. You can play a non-conference team. Do you like that? Is there an advantage to that at all?
Well, we haven't had a bye for a while, so I think it's also important, we play a ton of one-score games. Like, we need to get some guys some snaps, some reps, and we can't control any of that, but we don't get to play any, what do they call them, preseason games or whatever, with scrimmages. We don't get to do any of that, so it's always good against, we play Kentucky all the time. We can't, so that hurts, just as a whole, with NCAA wise, that's a whole nother story. We have a lot of issues, but, that's probably way down the totem pole. But I think it's important to be able to play some people, and we don't ever get to do that. And now we're going 9 conference games next year. That makes a lot of sense. But, so it is what it is. Line them up, and, I think having this game here helps rather than another SEC game, if that answers your question.
I think there were a couple of drops in that last run, but what do you see from Brennan, just his development behind the scenes this year?
Yeah, it was good, just to get him in there, and again, him and Stone, we think both of them are really good quarterbacks. I'm really bummed Stone didn't get in there today. That's the only thing that I'm kind of aggravated with this right now. So he's making progress.
That was way off topic. Do you in favor of converting the spring game into a scrimmage?
It's not. I'm not I'm not really advocating, I know some people brought that up or whatever. I'd rather have it in the fall. I'd rather be able to practice against some teams or do something in the fall like pro teams do.
Anyone else?
You touched on a little bit in your opening statement about senior day, being able to celebrate with my families. Just how much sweeter does that make a win when you
Yeah.
send these guys off for your final game?
It's very important. You know, it's very important. And, you know, some of these guys have been with us through, you know, so many good things, bad things, you know, everywhere in between. You can look at a guy like Jordan Lovett, you know, and having to see his family out there today broke my heart, you know what I mean? Because he, you know, he can't finish the season out on the field, and he's given everything to this program. He's a remarkable young man, along with so many others. And, you know, just a little thank you. Our administration, our people do a really good job. They had a really nice breakfast this morning, spent time with them, acknowledge them and thank them. And, you know, we just show as much appreciation as we can.
Now 3 straight wins. I mean, how do you guys kind of keep this momentum going and kind of finish out the year strong?
Yeah, it's just, you know, the next opportunity, you know, and we're really focused on that. I challenged the guys in there because they have brought it up. Like, okay, guys, let's keep this in perspective. Let's be ready to go Monday. And that's the mentality we have to, you know, continue with.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Coaches.